Hello and welcome to your 15-minute mobility class. Today we are going to focus on unlocking our hips. We start and finish with a tester exercise so you can compare how your hips have melted away into a lovely stretchy state in 15 minutes. So let's begin by taking our feet underneath our hips. We're going to tuck our chin under and come into a forward fold position. So roll down through the spine and then let yourself hinge from your hips and bend your knees as much as you can to let your hands come down on the mat. Now heel toe yourself a little bit wider with your feet than your hips and sink your hips down into a prime squat and lift your chest up. This is your tester exercise. We're going to do this 3 more times. So hands come down, hips come up, heel toe underneath the hips, fold from the hips and let yourself come into your hamstrings. Remember, bend your knees if you need to. Heel toe wider, sink down. So this is just about listening to the story of your body. Let's come back into your forward fold. Butt up, feet under, and fold. Is there a part of your body that is resisting? Is there a part of your body that has tension? Because that is a part of the body that we're going to really breathe and work into in the next 15 minutes. Your Brian squat may be like me, or it could be a little bit higher, or it could be a little bit lower. But wherever you are, I want you to make sure that your hips are down, your chest is open, and your back is long. One more Brian squat. Breathe into it, and we're going to start our little combination one side at a time. So, from here, bring down yourself into a kneeling position, and I want you to start by taking your right foot forward, left foot back. This is your hip flexor stretch. So you've got 90 degrees in all of the major joints of the body, and the most important cue here is to tuck the hips under. Breathe into it and feel a lengthening sensation down the front of your hip. Take both of your hands and take those thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, the opposite hand reaches up and across. 3 more. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, take it up and across. Now, one of the most important cues that I have for you here is rather than being like this, I want you to be up and tucked. So breathe into the movement. Inhale, come up to center, and exhale, reach yourself over whilst keeping your hips tucked. You're going to give me 1 more here. And now hold this range of motion, lifting up with your ribs and over, feeling this beautiful stretch down the side of the body and down the front of your hip. Now from here, we will cartwheel our hands down with our hands in line with our shoulders and bring that foot a little bit wider. Then you can maybe scooch that back knee back a little bit more. Now we're just going to take some nice little circles here, working into the hip joint itself. I'm going to do 4 circles in one direction and 4 circles in the other. And you can take it at your own in your own pace, in your own time. If you want to slow it down a bit, you can catch up a little bit later. That's absolutely fine. If there's a stretch that feels particularly juicy for you today, enjoy it that little bit longer. Making the circles as big or small as accessible to you. Settle yourself down whenever you've done your 4 rotations. Now, if this is enough for you today, this is intense enough for your inner thigh and hip flexor, that's fine. Otherwise, take your hands in front. And as you inhale, I want you to drive the chest up, a lovely long spine. And as you exhale, see if there's just a little bit more of a sink. I don't want this rounded body. I want a lovely long spine and feel like you're trying to draw your chest forward and pull your hands back. Beautiful. 1 more breath here, and then we come into our half split position. It sounds a little bit more dramatic than it is, so you'll be fine. So hands come back. Now, we're going to heel toe that foot back, so it's in line with our shoulders and our hips. Then lengthen that front leg, press the hips back, square the hips and lift up. Now maybe before you hinge over, we're going to set it up first. So this front hip, I want you to imagine like you're pulling it back, and then the back hip pulls forward. And that's the sensation that I want the full time. Lift up the chest and then start to hinge. And if this is where you are, that's great. You feel a little length in here, that's what's important. Otherwise, you can start to fold a little bit more. If you need to, have your trainers, have your yoga blocks, have some props to help you, that's cool. Little micro bend in that front knee. 3 more breaths here. So again, as you inhale, I want you to elongate that spine. As you exhale, then you hinge from the hips a little bit more. 2 more. Enjoy the lengthening into the back of the leg. 1 more. Now, from the back of the leg to the front of the leg. We're going to move into the other side here. So from this, you're going to let yourself come back. Rest your bum down on the back heel. Bend this front leg for extra support. And then this back hip is going to start to come up. So hands underneath the shoulders and then lift the hips up. Now, you might want to, for example, just stay down with your heel and your bum connected. But if your thigh is feeling good, you can start to, as you exhale, lift yourself up and press through the palms of your hands. Whatever you do though, I don't want to see these uneven hips. Keep them square, tuck the hips under and feel this beautiful thigh stretch. You're doing great. Was never what I meant to do for us. 2 more breaths. Even though you're okay, lengthening through the thigh. And then on your final breath, if you have your bum off your heel, let it set back down. Bring yourself forward. And we're going to swap over onto the other side and do it all on the other side. So into tabletop position, transitioning to hip flexor stretch. So now your left foot is going to come forward, right foot up. Lift yourself up, tuck your hips under. 90 degrees on all the joints of the body and the lower limbs. Tuck, thumbs to your shoulders. We're going to breathe and reach. So inhale, beautiful long spine. Exhale, up and over. How smooth and steady can you make that breath? If you're doing this after a beautiful workout, let's try and calm down that nervous system before we get on with our day. If you're doing this as a bit of a recovery day, well done to you. Also, let's try and regulate that nervous system. All the chatter of the day, let it melt away. You got 1 more and then we're going to bring it up and hold it. Lift it up, over, open the ribs up, and then stretch it over and feel that beautiful lengthening down the side of the body. Such a gorgeous stretch if you have a bit of a sedentary lifestyle and those hips get a bit tight at the desk. Bring yourself up, take the hands down and heel toe your feet a little bit wider than those hips. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees can come back a little bit more if you want, and take those 4 circles. And if there's a little section in your hips that's a little bit stickier, rather than moving through it quickly and skipping through it, I want you to breathe into it and slow it down. And at any point with these exercises, you can reduce the range of motion, you can grab some props. Listen to the story that your body's telling you. Listen to the little bits of tightness. Breathe into it, melt into it. Always encourage but never force. Settle yourself down when you do your 4 both directions. Bring your hands out in front if this is accessible to you today. Otherwise, keep them underneath your shoulders. Then that sensation like you're pulling your chest up and through and forward whilst the hands are pulling back. Really focusing onto the lats and deepening the stretch into the hip flexor, into the inner thighs, and just enjoying the moment. So nice, guys. One more breath here. Now heel toe that foot back in line with the hips, in line with the shoulders. Take yourself up. Maybe get yourself up all the way to get yourself started. Lengthen that front leg, little micro bend. The front hip, that sensation like you're pulling it back. The back hip pulling forward. And that immediately stretches that hamstring. Lift up nice and tall. Let yourself fall forward. Remember, this is always an option for you. You do not need to come into this situation. I would prefer you to be here with a lovely long spine, hinging from the hips rather than rounding through the back. Every time you inhale, I want that sensation like you're trying to draw that hip back. Every time you exhale, a little bit more of a fold, if it's an option for you. 2 more breaths here, into your hamstrings, into the back of the legs. 1 more. And now into your thigh. So let's bring ourselves back onto the heel, butt cheek to heel. Bend that knee for a little bit of extra support. Tuck the hips under and then gently start to bring those hips up to the sky. The knees, the ankles, the toes, the hips, they're all in line. And feel that intense stretch down the thigh. After this, we've got 1 more stretch to do and then a tester exercise that we did at the start so that you can review how the 15 minutes have had an effect on your body, especially your hips and your lower limbs. One more breath here into the thighs. Gently set yourself down onto your heels. And our final stretch of today is our butterfly stretch. So you are going to bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Now to begin with, we're going to get this active. So what I want you to do is take those hands out in front. If you've got a banana back, you can get a yoga block to sit yourself up on a prop. Hands out in front and feel those knees press down towards the floor. So imagine like there's like a magnet and they're trying to connect the knees to the floor. Pull it down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come down. Press the elbows into the thighs, but I want the knees now to press up towards the floor. So you have this tension happening. The elbows press down to the floor and the knees go up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Take it down. Knees down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down, press down into those thighs with the elbows and the knees come up to the sky for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let yourself just relax into your forward fold for a little moment or two. Enjoy it. Now just you can do what you want to do to just enjoy the stretch and feel the body. Maybe it's passive, maybe it's a little bit active. Holding it here for 2 breaths. Last breath. And now maybe bring your hands to help you. We're going to come back into our prime squat to our forward fold combination. So let's bring ourselves up, folding from the hips. Let yourself come down into those hamstrings. So if you see from the side profile here, I'm not in this rounded position. I fold from the hips before I start to move through the back. And then let yourself round forward. Then heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Sink your hips down, lift your chest up. Again, this isn't the situation. I want this to be the situation, okay? And if that means that you're here, that's okay. We're gonna run through this for 1 minute in your own time, in your own speed, and just listen to what your body is telling you. So heel toe underneath your hips, come into your hamstrings. My hamstrings feel so much more open now, and I hope that you guys maybe feel a bit of a difference too. Heel toe a bit wider, sink the hips down, lift up the chest. So nice. One more time. Don't judge your body. It is what it is, and you are where you are. And this 15 minutes, you're giving your body some love, some mobility, some nurturing movements. Awesome choice. Breathe into your last pride squat of today. And then from here, using the strength of your legs, which are hopefully more open and lengthened, bring yourself up. We're going to finish with 2 beautiful big breaths. So sweep your arms up, bend into those knees. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, let it go. One more time, big sweep up. Exhale. Well done for completing your 15-minute hip unlocking mobility sequence. I hope your hips feel fabulous, fresh, and ready for whatever exercise endeavors that you have next. Have a wonderful rest of day. Goodbye.